I've been using Chess.com's Tactical Trainer for about the last 2 months now. And during that time period, I've went through about 2,000 tactical problems on it. And this video is designed to do two things. One is to give you some tips on how to use this to get better at tactics. And number two, some suggestions for Chess.com on how they may want to improve this tool. It's a really cool little tool. What it does is it gives you a tactical problem and you have to solve it. If you solve it correctly, your rating on their tactical trainer goes up. If you solve it incorrectly, it goes down. The same thing happens to each problem. Each problem is assigned a value, and depending on how good the person is who is trying the problem will go up or down in its own rating, which means that you get problems that are increasingly more difficult the better you do, or easier the worse that you do. I really like this tactical trainer. It's better than a lot of tactics software I've used in the past, and I can also easily see my chess game getting better. There's three things that I figured out, though, that I think improve one's working with the tactical trainer. Number one, there's a timer on the tactical trainer. If you want to get better at tactics, turn the timer off. It's in the settings. There's no reason that this timer should be on by default. The amount of points you get is based on how quickly you solve the problem versus other people's time on this problem. But the timer really becomes a crutch. If the timer is really short, you can tell that it's just a simple 1 or 2 move tactic. If the timer is long, then you know that it's a complicated tactic. And this type of a hint will never ever appear for you in a game. Your opponent's not going to say, oh, by the way, there's a really short mate in 1 here. Or, similarly, they're not going to say, oh, you should spend a lot of time looking at this particular problem because you're going to have to chase the king around the board and eventually mate him after 7 or 8 moves. So the timer itself may help you do well at the tactical trainer, but it doesn't actually help you get better at tactics. It becomes a crutch that gets in the way. Second thing is, never spend more than 5 minutes on any problem. The idea with the tactical trainer is to get better at pattern recognition. If you're spending longer than 5 minutes, your benefit is going to be much greater by going through several more problems. If there's one that you can't figure out, give up, guess, look at the analysis and try to figure out why you didn't get it, and then move on so that you can see more patterns and learn more. Last thing is review. When I first started out with the tactical trainer, I was so excited about doing these problems that I'd instantly move on to the next and the next and the next. And I figured out that in some cases, even when I had got the problem right, I didn't fully understand the outcome. The idea is that you need to understand what happened in the problem, whether you're doing it right or not. Take a minute or two to look at the source, which is at the bottom of the problem. There's a little link that you can click on that will give you the source and run through it with an analysis board and figure out what's going on. Now, I've got 4 tips here that hopefully chess.com will be listening and look at implementing. This tactical trainer collects a lot of data about how I do. Each individual problem could easily be crowdsourced and categorized. Let the users, after doing a problem, go, hey, by the way, that's a discovery problem, this is a mate in 3 problem, and then take those different categories and let me look at my history. I only get to see the top last 50 problems that I did. If I'm missing 95% of mate in 2s or mate in 3s, but I get discoveries and x-rays all the time, this is incredibly valuable to me. With over 2,000 problems done, I should be able to go back through that data and figure out where my blind spots are. And then the next thing that I'd like to see implemented is being able to do particular themes. If you crowdsource the categorization of these, you should be able to turn it on and say, hey, I just want to go through 200 mate in 2s, or I just want to go through 100 discoveries, because I know I'm doing bad at discoveries. I don't want to look at other things. I want to improve based on those specific target areas. The last thing, and the most annoying thing to me about Tactical Trainer, is that there is a little link there that lets you look at the source code and see why this outcome is correct or wrong. But the Tactical Trainer should really scrape through that winning line and put it on the bottom, because it's really annoying to me that the tactical trainer comes up in a separate window. I've got to click on that. I got to go to the other window. Then I have to rearrange my windows and try to figure out and look at the board versus this. I'm really spending 3 or 4 or 5 clicks to look at one little line of 5 or 7 characters that could easily be scraped, brought into that tactical trainer window, and save me a lot of time and effort. In fact, even when I'm right, I want to make sure that I'm right. If it just said main 3 and here's the outcome afterwards, that would help a lot. So overall, I really like Chess.com's Tactical Trainer. I think there's some opportunities to improve it. Anybody who's playing, though, make sure to turn off the timer and look at that source. Make sure that you've got the right reason, or if you're not getting it, that you can make the right moves next time and see the pattern. Thanks.